Hey guys, thank you for joining us for another late night episode of YOML. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. So today we're on Reflection 244, and we start off with a new book today. And this book has a two-part installment. So this is part one of two. So take it away, Chris.
Yeah, this is a fun one. We'll put our late night FM DJ voice on to soothe everyone in the audience. But yeah, no, this book today we're going to be talking about is part one of two. It's called The Dip, the little book that teaches us when to quit and when to stick by Seth Godin, part one of two. So this is a book about when to quit and when to stick. It says it in the title, right? Did you ever read any Seth Godin books?
I just don't remember which one particularly.
Linchpin was one of them, right? That's one that I've had the whole team read. Did you read that one? I can't remember.
No, not yet. It's in my anti-library.
Fair enough. But so I actually really like Seth Godin. I can't remember if the story is tomorrow and part two of two, so I'll save it for that. But this was the book that my new boss recommended to me when he was still trying to woo me away from my. Anyway, we'll get to that story tomorrow. So anyway, this book is kind of near and dear to my heart for sure because it had a big impact on my decision making. As you see, this was posted in August of 2022, and that was when I left my previous job to go to my current job. So we'll get to that. This reflection title is I'm in a cul-de-sac. So what do I mean by that? Let me describe a little bit about what the dip is in the first place, right? Seth Godin calls it the dip. You'll see it on the cover right here, right? When you start off doing any activity in this world, like, beginner's luck, call whatever, you'll find a little bit of success and you'll get that energy. You'll be like, oh, I kind of like this, like, oh, I'm drawing, like artwork or I'm knitting, like when I was doing my crochet and I'm like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool. I did it. Like I made the jankiest, shittiest hat ever, but like that was cool. I figured it out, like I'm getting better, and I'm seeing progression every single day. Well, eventually, like you hit the hard shit, right? You're playing tennis or you're coding or whatever, and you start to hit the challenges and it goes downhill, right? And you're like, oh, this isn't all fun and games. There is a lot of bullshit that I have to deal with. There is a lot of things that I don't like about this. There are things that I need to push past and get better at. There's things that I gotta challenge myself and focus in on deliberate practice activities and things like that. There's education I need to do. There's all these other things, right? Like you're in the dip at this point in time. So that you start to go down the end of the dip. And then when you're in the dip, like as you see the little guy on the cover, you got a decision to make, right? Like if you ever want to get out of that dip, like you got to commit. I mean, you got to really commit, right? You got to make it something that you want to dedicate your time and attention to and push through and do the deliberate practice and go do the education and continual learning and go do all the things that need to be done in order to become world class. Because that's what people that make it out of the dip, become. They're world class. Otherwise, you get stuck in a cul-de-sac. You're like, well, I'm in the dip, but like I'm here. Nobody's gonna fire me. Nobody's gonna, I'm like okay at tennis, but I'll just spin around, go around in circles and yada, yada, yada. Like that's the cul-de-sac, right? Is where people decide to stay doing the activities that they're doing, but they're not pushing forward and they're really not going back. They're just stuck in the dip and they're stuck in the cul-de-sac, right? So that's kind of the whole concept of the book is, of the dip. So if you want to be world class at something, you got to push past and get out of the dip. And why do you do that really is the point, So this is a book about when to stick and when to quit. And I thought it was a really, really good thought-provoking activity, especially given the time in my life. My former boss was a smart dude. I don't know if he accidentally did this or if he's just like an elephant ninja warrior and knew how to get my brainwaves going or something like that and let me convince myself to leave my job. But he's the one that recommended this book, and that was what kind of spurred me forward. So this reflection is about me being stuck in the cul-de-sac. And I started off with, a confession. Like I'm mediocre at my current job. When I was an AE at Salesforce, I was okay. And that pains me to say more than anything in the world because I'm an incredibly competitive person. There's been so many jobs in my past career where I've been not just the best, but like I'm the best of the best, and like whatever I've always done in my entire life, I've always tried, except for academics. I was always good at academics. I was always like an A student, but I didn't really give a shit about being the best of the best. But that's even another thing. I pushed past the dip in academia because I don't know why. This is the tale of Chris Sears' life, is I'm just competitive and I just want to always be the best at whatever I put myself to, but I just throw me in any situation. I want to be the best. You make me go play cornhole, like the beanbag toss game or whatever. I'm going to try to be the best. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you throw me in a ping pong tournament. I end up placing second. I don't play ping pong. You know, you go throw me into a badminton course that I've never played before, and I won an intramural championship in college. It's just one of those things where I'm incredibly competitive, but there was no rhyme or reason to why I did anything before, you know, this journey and before Amelia for the most part. I just found myself in places and tried to be my best. And oftentimes that was a bad scenario because I would find myself losing myself a lot of ways because I would let that. We talked about this with the gambling stuff in the past. You know, we talked about this when I got panic attacks at one of my jobs that I was the best at, right? Like I was a good poker player. I wasn't the best, but I was pretty damn good at it. I had my fair share of really winning streaks and things like that. My point of what I'm getting at is like my whole entire previous life, I always, no matter what you threw me into, I tried to be the best. This job was different. My previous job that I had at Salesforce was different. I never went there with the intention of trying to be the best in all. And in 2019, when I started there in early 2019, my intention was to learn business at scale and at like 80,000 employees. I'd never worked at a company that size, right? And also I just wanted to buy some time and I wanted to move back into an individual contributor role while I was working on my side project, you know, the one that you and I originally first talked about, right? That was something that I was working on for the first, 18 months that I'd been at Salesforce. And that was my plan, was to do that, have them kind of fund my project, learn business at scale and learn culture at scale and move on, right? Well, as we all know, life changed, right? Life got in the way and all plans, everything's all fun and games until, somebody gets punched in the face, right? As Mike Tyson would say. And I got punched in the face. I got punched in the face hard. March of 2020 when Amelia was born and we went through everything we went through with her and subsequently losing her. And then after that, Luca came along about a year later and we went through 92 days in the NICU with him. Whole lot of things happened in life and it derailed whatever plan was that I had, going into my time at Salesforce. Here I was, almost 4 years into that job. And now I found myself reading a book like this. And I was looking around and you and I've talked about this a million times. Like, I was like, I'm in a cul-de-sac. I don't care about this job. I don't want to be world-class at this job. I don't even like this job. I mean, I appreciated my time at Salesforce. I appreciated it immensely. The people there were incredibly talented. I learned a ton. And honestly, like, I'm glad I was there when I went through what I went through with Amelia and Luca in particular, because it was a very supportive ecosystem. Like they had a lot of money and infrastructure and resources to be able to support employees going through similar situations, right? Where I didn't have to necessarily care about work or money or anything, right? Like I just worried about my family at that time. And the universe always has you at the right place at the right time. But now that we were past all that, now that we were staring at what you and I and our mission together with Clubany and all the things that we were learning in this journey, I mean, I read this book and I was like, shit, I'm in a cul-de-sac. I was like, fuck. I was like, what? I was like, I know I am, and I know that I have been, and I know that like I'm just spinning my wheels. I don't want to be world class at this job, but I don't want to leave because it was protective, and at the same time, like I was like, what am I doing? You and I would talk about this every single day. A ton of stuff that Amelia and I were doing in the morning with Living for Two. We would book in the back at the end of the day with, these conversations and other things and tennis and whatever else, and then in the middle of the day, I was just doing nothing in a cul-de-sac, yeah, I was doing things, but they were completely separate of any purpose or mission driven, activities. So after reading this book, I literally read this book, wrote this reflection, and I was like, that's it. I mean, I'm in a cul-de-sac and it's time to quit. And I made the decision to quit. I think we're going to talk about that in part 2, what ended up coming from all that. But yeah, that was it. After reading this book, I realized I was in a cul-de-sac and what I was doing wasn't aligning to my mission, purpose, or values that I wanted to live in life. And that was it. Made a decision right then and there. I was on a run and ran back into the house. Amelia and I, head was spinning and I was like, I quit. Like I literally told my nanny, I walked in, I go, I quit. And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I quit. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. And then I went upstairs, wrote my reflection the next morning and I quit. So anyway, that was Seth Godin's The Dip. The question is, what do you want to be world-class in this life? And are you on that path? Or do you find yourself in a cul-de-sac? Because I could tell you for a fact, I did not want to be a world-class software sales professional in that ecosystem. Like, without a doubt. What I want to be world-class in, you already know, is a mentor, coach, leader, building cultures, innovator. So that's what I'm focused on. And that's what I'm trying to do with my time. And that's what I'm going to continue to do with my time for the rest of my days. So anyway, I'd love to get your thoughts.
So I'm curious, in the book, you going to get to the dip at some point, right?
Yep.
Right. So the question I'm trying to understand is, how do you know to continue and how do you know to stop? I know you in the cul-de-sac and you say, well, I'm in the cul-de-sac, I'm in this dip, I'm going to quit. But the question is, everybody gets to the cul-de-sac at some point.
Yep.
Right. So according to the book, how do you know when to quit and when not to quit?
I can't remember Seth Godin's answer, but I know what my answer is. If it doesn't align to my mission or my values in life, then it's time to quit. Like, I mean, without a doubt, it's black and white to me now. There's no, if what I am doing every single day and where I'm spending my time does not push me toward the direction that I want to go of spending more time with my daughter and living my values with her and doing the stuff that we love to do, then I'm in a cul-de-sac, then I quit. That's my criteria. That's why I decided I couldn't be myself at Salesforce. I couldn't do what I wanted to do at Salesforce. And that's not to say anything bad about the company, but it was the truth. So that was why I left. That was my decision criteria. Is I'm only going to ever push past the dip to try to be world class at something that I care about. I truly care about. Eating the cake. I'm not going to eat the frog. I don't want to be world class while I'm eating the frog as something, right? You know, like that sucks. Like, I mean, who the hell wants to eat the frog and exhaust all their willpower all day long, you know, to be world class at something, because eventually they're going to break down, right? I mean, so like that's my criteria.
Yeah, to me is the question you ask, what do you want to be world class at in this life?
Mhm.
And I'm wondering to myself, is it wrong for me not to want to be world class?
Well, you can be world
No, I don't want to be world class at anything.
at being true, at being yourself.
I don't care about being world class.
You are world class. You're being yourself.
Well,
Like,
whether I'm world class or not, it doesn't matter to me.
well, yeah. I mean, I agree. I'm not
I
saying.
don't I don't have any kind of desire to be world class or to be better at somebody. If somebody wants to be true and can be better than me, I don't give 2 cents.
But
So,
you're missing the what world class means. Like when you push past the dip, it's
but
not about being. You just naturally become world class at something because you care and you want to push past the dip.
right, and I can understand that. But for
it's not
me,
that you
it's like
want
don't want
to
to
be.
be.
But you are going to be world class at
I
being true.
am world class at what I do because
Right.
of the sheer number of effort I put into it, and
Exactly.
that's just a byproduct. As far as the desire to compare myself to somebody, I don't have any desire or want to be world class because
You're
when
seeing
you
world class
want
as a
to be world
comparison.
class, it's like you are ranking yourself with somebody.
Right.
And for me, that doesn't cross my mind in any way. I just like to do what I want to do.
You're conflating the words world class with ranking, like versus just the idea of you just become incredibly good at it. Like, you know,
Right. And
like
so
who
to
cares
me, it's
about.
I don't care about becoming good at it.
I know
Like,
you just become good at it. I'm saying like you when you do what you love, you become good at it because you just want to get better at it. Like, I mean, and then eventually you look down the mountain and there you are. You're like, oh shit.
see, if I'm on the top of the mountain and look down at it, I say, oh, okay. Like for
That's
me,
my point.
it's
Yeah.
not like, wow, look at me, look how much
Right.
I've become. I just don't have that kind of feeling.
I
Okay.
agree. I'm the
I
same
mean,
way. Yeah.
do I still get to do what I still want to do? Yeah, okay. I'm
Exactly.
excited about that. So to me,
That's the point.
that's where I'm at. I don't really care if somebody label me as world class or somebody say I'm world class. I'm doing what I want to do, and for whatever reason, I just don't see myself as, hey, I want to achieve this kind of whatever. I just say, can I get to the point where I have the freedom to do whatever that makes me feel like I'm eating the cake? And so if
That's my
eating
point.
the cake is something that I like to do, and that's something that make me world class, so be it. I mean, if it doesn't, I don't really care because even in this YOMO thing, right? I love to do these things, but it's not like, oh, I'm doing this because I want to become at this someday. I'm become this wise person that I can teach people or whatever. I don't really see that in me. I just say, okay, I love to talk about different things, and I'm excited
Right.
to discover new nuggets of information, and that what I'm I guess happy in terms of what I can do versus saying, hey, world class. So I guess the world class doesn't jive in what I understand.
So, like, my point is, I'll find this answer really fast. How about what percentage of podcasts make it past 100 episodes? Yeah. Um, All fine. You can keep talking, but I think I've seen the statistic.
Saying I think having if somebody to me the goal of mine, I'm not missing the point. Okay. Right. And to me, that's for me is what I am on the path to do is I am not missing the point. I'm not looking at the goal or the ending. Say, hey, I will become world class because I'm doing these things. I'm climbing my way out of this dip or whatever. Because it to me it's irrelevant to me in whether or not I become something of magnitude. I don't really care as long as can I do what I desire to do, what I'm compelled to do, what my genes and being wants to express. And to me, that's all I care about.
I was trying to look up how many podcast series get past 100 episodes or something like that. What do you think? I know I've found this statistic before in the past, but what do you think the answer is?
20-30%.
You think 20% of all podcasts do 100 episodes?
Or more.
No way. I'd say like maybe 5%.
Okay.
100 episodes? That's a lot of episodes.
What I'm saying is, I give people the benefit of the doubt, I doubt that people, if they have to eat a frog, it is hard for them to even pass 5 to 10 episodes.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't even have the chance to go to 100. 100 is something that somebody is already putting a lot of willpower into it, or it has some kind of,
or it just gives them energy.
Result. I mean, some people hated the job, but because the job has a paycheck, it goes with it. So they sit there. Just like some people stay in the cul-de-sac and they stay there forever because there's a paycheck. Right? Well, it's better than nothing. I'm not like making a bowl of money, but it's something extra. So it motivates me just enough to do this thing day in and out until it diminishes to the point where they don't want to do it anymore. So to me, like 20% would be reasonable thing because I'm thinking about the 80-20 rules. But I I'm not surprised if it's 5%.
Well, then right? I was going to say the next question is how many think make it past 200?
Oh, that's easy. That's going to be like less than 5%.
How many think make it past 300?
1%.
Yeah, I just refinished Nassim Taleb's Black Swan, and how I forget what this mathematical law is called, but as something gets bigger and bigger, the expectation of what it becomes starts to get bigger and bigger. Like if we've done 300 episodes, and I'm probably butchering this whole thing, if you do 5 episodes, the expectation is maybe you'll do 20 or something like that. If you do 200, the expectation maybe you end up doing 800 or something like that. The gap just keeps exponentially growing and growing and growing. If you get to 800, the expectation is you probably end up doing, 2,000 or something like that. The numbers just keep exponentially growing and growing as you continue to do stuff. I forget what that mathematical principle is called. What I was trying to get at is we're on episode 244. That's already world-class probably in podcast recording, and I have no idea.
I don't think about it that way, right? Even though I agree with you in that sense, we have doing this for so long. Most people won't even make it to 20. And so to go to 100, well, you're going to have to be really world-class or you have some kind of nudge along the way, like a regular paycheck that comes in, give you enough oops to go over the inertia. But for me, like I said, you looking at what we're doing today, to me, it's a blink of an eye. I don't think about it. I don't.
Right.
I don't.
We had a scheduling snafu, and we're doing this at 10:30 at night right now. It is 10:28, and we need to go to bed. But we're like, hey, we want to get our podcast in because we enjoy this conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Is for me, it's like I think I can sleep without doing this thing. So yeah, it's late night, but I've been waiting for this all day. So the thing is, this is like looking forward. So I'm not eating the frog. I'm not doing this to be world class.
You're having a late night dessert, you're having a late night dessert before you go to bed.
You're asking me to eat cake, so I'll stay up and eat cake. That's what I'm saying is, it's like, I mean, to me, it's not even a slight inconvenience.
But this is the point of the dip, side of it, because if this was you and I,
but that's why I don't understand it. Maybe I didn't read the book and I don't understand what it means. But as far as this YOML is concerned, there's no depth.
There was. We just we enjoyed it so much that we were like, I don't really care. There's been so many times through this. Hell, we recorded these episodes when I was in the hospital. We've recorded episodes when my AC's been out, when my furnace has been out, when we've been on vacation, both of us.
You in Hawaii, I was in Florida, and you in Florida, and vice versa, and all that. I mean, to me, it's not even inconvenient. It's like, okay, I have.
It is
I get.
inconvenient, but you don't think it's inconvenient. It is incredibly inconvenient for us to, I had to go plan my whole day around this when I was in Hawaii. Like, I had to let Felicia and Luca and her mom, her mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law that were all with us. They had to go, like, I had to go find time for them.
You don't mind it. And so when you don't mind it, it doesn't strike to you as inconvenience.
That's the
For
point
me,
of this.
it's like, okay, my family is going to take pictures. I'm still doing the podcast. Like, you take pictures. When I'm done, I'll come down.
That's the whole point of this.
And so that's what I'm saying is my point is I don't.
We're climbing the mountain because we want to climb the mountain. That we're going past the dip of all the complications because we want to, because it aligns to what we care about. That is the whole point of what I'm trying to get at with this whole entire message. I could have done this at Salesforce. I could have pushed past these things. I didn't want.
I think it's the climb. Like, you enjoy the climb. It's not that, hey, I'm going to get to the peak one day. That's me where I'm looking at from my perspective is I really enjoy the climb. I don't care whether I get past the peak. It didn't even cross my mind about how far we have to go and how much we have to go. Right? I just said, well, today I get to talk to Chris about some things I might be excited about. And it doesn't matter what it is. And a lot of times between me and you, it's like every time we get together, regardless whether it's a podcast or just chit chat. Because yesterday we spent like half an hour talking about, like, what was it, the portal?
Oh, the transfer portal, college transfer portal. Yeah,
but my point is, I enjoy the present so much that the future doesn't register so much. In terms of, okay, when we say we want, when I think that you ask the question we want, it's like that's like going to the future. Say, where do you want to be, right? So for me, is I don't think about it, and so if I have to think about it, I forget to enjoy the moment.
This book isn't for somebody that's already climbing past the dip. This book is for people that are in the fucking dip and they're in a cul-de-sac.
That's why I was asking you in the beginning is, if everybody goes through that dip at some point, right? How do you know when to go back and quit or to move forward and continue to climb?
Like, it's not even a question for you to move forward with this. It's not a question for me to move forward with what we are doing right now and with Clubbing and all the other stuff, right? There's not a question in our minds because it aligns to who we are and who we want to be and how we want to live our life, right? It aligns to our mission, our purpose, our values. This is the point. Is like, Salesforce didn't align to that, but I was still trying, and it's like, why are you trying? You are stuck in a fucking cul-de-sac at that point in time. You're just going round and round. You're going, now I know this doesn't align, but I'm here anyway.
Like I said, like I was saying about the podcast, right? 20%, like those 20% may have some kind of kickback in terms of, hey, there's some kind of weekly salary or monetary reward or whatever. Just like your search for a job, you don't like it, but because it pays, it gives you a paycheck. You say, well, it gives you enough to stay in the cul-de-sac. You know what I mean? But that's the thing is, for me, is when I get to the point, I think I understand what you're saying. It's just that I've been out of it so long that I forget what it's like. Because for me, it's like I do work, but
the most part, you play, like, and you enjoy it.
Right. For the most part, I don't actually, like, people will invite me to do projects and basically refuse. I mean, if it's not what I want to do, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You have to go find someone else. Right. So for me, it's like,
it's not hard to say no.
I don't have that. The moment of, okay, I have to endure this so I can get some kind of paycheck, because I get to choose now. I mean, I think, and I'm not saying that it isn't fair either, because I've got to the point where I'm really good at what I do because I like what I do. Right. And so when I'm good at what I do, I can choose the kind of work I do. Right. So for me, it's like,
because you're world class at it and you enjoy it.
When I go coding something, I pick the projects I want. I don't need a job for a job, right? I work because the project is interesting to me and I want to be good at it. And so I think, and the thing is, I've got to this point because of all the experience I get over the years. But if I were to be in my younger years, I would have to go through the dip.
You did go through the dip. You told me you used to suck down 900 cups of coffee every day and drink, 500
Yeah.
Red Bulls or whatever the
Yep.
hell it was, Like, I mean, you pushed
For the paycheck.
yeah, that's my point. It's like you burned yourself out for you were in the dip. You were trying to be world class.
And then I just completely jump out of the airplane and let the airplane crash. I mean,
That's
the
the
thing is,
problem.
it gets to the point where I think you don't realize you're in a dip,
That's the point.
right?
You don't realize it until you realize it, and you're like, shit,
And like I said, it took me a long time to realize that what I'm doing isn't worth my time, isn't worth it. And I just decided to just give up and jump out of the airplane. And let whatever on the airplane crash and burn. That's how I see it. To me, I've done it for so long because I started my company back in 2007. And I basically, 10 years later, I basically just give it up. I mean, the company was thriving, but it wasn't what I want to do. And I hate dealing with people to get the project. So I just say, hey, fuck it. whatever it is, just let it crash and burn, not attempt to sell it. I could have sold it. I have contracts with the government. I could have sold my company because my company has contracts. It would be worth something. I didn't even do anything.
You said
I just
you were in
let
the
it
dip and you just
just
quit.
let it
Like,
dissolve. I just do whatever. And my employees start getting other offers and other opportunities, and I just let them go. I could have sold the company, but I didn't even do that because I was completely. I don't even think about it, right? And so to me, it's like it's hard for somebody to be in a dip and realize in the dip, and that to me, that's why I was curious to understand from the book itself. Is how do you know when to quit and when to continue?
You either don't know when to quit because it's so fun and you're enjoying it and it's play to you, or you're stuck in the cul-de-sac and you're like, shit, do I?
But
If
that
there's a
confuses
decision
me
to be made,
though,
promise no.
because the thing is, when I was doing the things I don't like to do, right? I did not have time to answer the question. I did not have time to ask the question: Is am I in the depth? I was too preoccupied with trying to not drown. Right?
Exactly.
I feel like
when you're in a cul-de-sac,
like
around.
the water is above my nose, like the water is up to here, right?
Right.
I just feel like that's. I mean, I feel like I'm treading water all the time. And so there's not a moment for me to even stop and talk to myself. So that's why I'm confused because when you're in the dip, you don't know in your dip. But when you're having fun, you don't actually look back and say, I'm on the dip. Because if like in this particular episode, right? Because we have gone through this hurdle already. So it's not fair to say, hey, everybody can see what we see. Because they can't.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I did not see what I see today when I was younger, right? So the question that I'm asking myself is, how would I know I'm in a dip, and how would I know when to quit and when not?
I'll give an answer to that one. So I have two answers to that. Reserve any comments until after I tell you the second one. The first one is, goes back to when's the right time to when how do you know when the right time is? It's the first time you think about it. It goes back to the same thing of how do you know whether or not to leave your job? First time you really think that you should fucking quit your job is probably you're not going to go push past the dip. I can guarantee you that. If you have any inclination in your head where you're debating whether or not, is this the right fit for me? Is this not the right fit for me? I'll keep pushing forward. Like, I guarantee you're not going to push past the dip at that point in time. You're just going to get stuck in a cul-de-sac, go round and round and round. It's a promise, right? And the second story that I can say about when to quit and when to not. So this happened today. No joke. Do you know what I start off my one-on-ones with my team? I asked them a question. Like, do you know what the question is that I asked them?
How's your balance?
That is exactly what I asked them.
Okay.
Said, how's your balance? Scale of 1 to 10. They have to give me a number. One of them today gave me a number, and I just started asking them this stuff the past couple of sessions.
Mm-hmm.
One of them goes, I think I'm like a 4, and she said that like seriously, I think I'm good. I'm like a 4. And I was like, are you sure you're okay? Like, I mean, you're at 4? And she's like, yeah. A lot going on in personal life. And they got to give you some context. This person is a ball of energy, helps everybody, really good at her job, doing a lot of things outside of work that she's very passionate about. She's an ideal employee, right? Pushing hard to be the person that she wants to be, or that she thinks she wants to be, I guess, at that point in time. And when I asked her, how'd your balance? And she's like, it's a 4. And she's happy about that. I was like, are you happy about that? She was like, yeah, it's not bad. I feel like most people should probably be about average. And I was like, I don't know, like an 8 or something like that. And she was like, an 8? She was like, how do you get to an 8? She was like, who's at an 8 in this world? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, a lot of people are. I mean, we ended up having this long conversation.
Well,
It's not wrong, but at the end of the conversation, I was like, is that where you really want to be, as a 4? And she's like, well, no, I guess not. I just figured that's what most people are, and they're happy with that. And I go, and I was like, no, like that's not it. Like, that's exactly what the cold is. That is what the dip is. There's so many people that get conditioned to go like, yeah, this sucks, but like, I'll find a way to push through it. She's a problem solver. She's really smart. She reminds me of myself a lot. This is exactly my younger self, right? When I would say like, hey, I'm in a job that is, making me miserable, but God damn it, I'm going to be the best, and I'm going to keep fighting. Like, there's more shit that gets thrown on my plate. I'm going to keep fighting. There's more people that are in my way. I'm going to fight more. Like, it's like, just run harder and harder and harder into that brick wall that I don't even know that I didn't like. The saddest part is I didn't even know if I wanted that brick wall or if I didn't want that brick wall. But God damn it, I'm gonna run right fucking through it, And like, that's exactly ended up how that conversation ended up with her today. Was like, I was like, is this like, what is causing this? And she was like, well, like, we have all these internal problems with this, and people keep reaching out to me and asking me favors all the time, and I know I want to help everybody, but like, it has become kind of overwhelming. And I'm like, then say no. Like, like, if it's not your job and you like your job and that's happy, then great. But like, you could like, I don't want you to walk around your life going, I'm a 4 on a scale of 1 to balanced. You know what I mean? Like, my point of what I'm getting at is, those are kind of what you're speaking about. Is most people are so underwater that they're walking around so fucked up that they're like, well, this is just life. This is how it works, And you're like, no, that's not it. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to.
But that's my point. Is she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. Right, and that's why we had these conversations. Why I asked her, what's
for me, it's like, I didn't know that wasn't all right until, like, for whatever reason, it pushes me over the edge. Like, right. I can understand if I was in that situation and somebody like you came along and said, hey, what's your balance? It's like, oh, I'm a 2. I'm feeling great. It's not a 0.
It's like, oh my God, like, this guy's gonna fall apart. Like, I'm about to have an employee have a panic attack right in front of me, probably.
I hate it when my phone rings, right? Because I have to solve some kind of problem. I don't like to solve people problems. I just don't. I like to solve things, like issues with things, and not issue with people. Like, I don't understand people, right? And I don't want to understand people, right? I'm not a people person. And so people say, hey, I don't like this person's way to approach things and blah, blah, blah. And I'm the guy who's responsible for the project. And I got to make sure these guys plays together. It's like, oh, but the thing is, I hate to pick up the phone. Like,
right.
And to me, I'm always dreading this thing. And, I say, well, if this is what it's like to run a company, I guess everybody's doing it, right? No one knows, right?
Yeah.
Right, because the thing is, that's why I'm saying I ran my company for 10 years and it was doing well, but I hated dealing with people. Yeah, I hate dealing with clients. I hate dealing with internal employees. I hate dealing with vendors. I mean, these are vendors, right? These are people working for me,
right?
And they are bitching about this and that, and it's like excuses and scapegoats and blaming and all that. Say, I don't want to. I mean, just say, look.
How many times did you think about quitting that job?
Many times.
How many times?
First time.
When was the first time you were like, I don't want to own my own company? When was the first time? How many years in?
Probably like
a year in. All right, and you did it for 10 years.
Yes, I did for 10 years.
Okay, so like this goes back to, when's the right time to fire somebody?
The first time you think about it.
If you were a year in and you had that thought, would you go back and say, that's when I decided?
Now that I know, I would.
Yeah.
I would definitely, probably within 6 months, I would quit. Because the thing, well, it's not worth it. I got to find something else. But for whatever reason, I was conditioned to think in a certain way. Okay? Because I don't have the mental training to understand the alternatives.
Like, this is I don't like the whole winners idea, because, like, I mean, I don't care about outcomes, but like, people that are
and that's what I'm saying is, for me now, why would I want to be world class? I don't really care.
Just are world class. Like, that's the thing.
The thing is, if you want to be world class, you are not world class.
That's it. That's actually it. Like, it's you become world class because you don't want to be world class. You just want to do what you like to do, and you just end up in the world class.
I completely. I just don't. If you're asking me, what do I want to be world class at? I don't want world class to be at anything.
Right. You don't want to be, but what you do every single day,
I'm probably
you
a world
become
class
world
at
class.
many things, right?
Right.
But I don't want to be like, I don't have the desire to say, hey, one of these days I will become like, the best pickleball player, the best programmer. I'm already am at that level.
Right.
Right. And it's not like I don't have, but then that's what I'm saying is when you want to be world class, you are not yet a world class. Right. That's why
Exactly.
you
No,
want
I
to
think,
go
yeah.
there. Because right now, like if you ask me what is my wishes, like you ask me what's my goal
It's
in
to do
life.
what you
I
want
want
to
to
do
be,
every day.
I want to be like, I told you this many times. I want to be the fucking Mexican fisherman.
Exactly.
But that world class at anything?
It's world class at being yourself. I mean, that's the truth, right?
It's the truth.
When you want to be world class and you achieve that, you fall off the cliff. Like you just like there is no cliff. Like I think of like an Olympian, right? Wants to be world class so bad and get the gold medal, and then they do it, and then 3 years later they're 75 pounds overweight and they're depressed and they're trying to kill themselves and getting DUIs or whatever the hell.
Because when you world class, that's an end.
Exactly.
That's an end. You have achieved when you get the end, right? There's no more room to go up. Right. But the only other way is down. But I'm not world class at it. I don't know shit. That means that I continue to learn until I don't exist anymore. If I get to the point where, I've become this philosopher, blah, blah, blah. Or I've got to this 365 reflections and I become this one, right? When you get there, like it's the end. But if there's no end to me, like there's no end to what I'm doing, it is unlimited.
Exactly.
So when you say there's a world class,
you don't see a mountaintop here, do you? Like you just see it just keeps going. Like I mean, it like that's like
but that's what I'm saying is when people say you're world class at something, you are at the pinnacle of something, and that's what the word confuses you in a way, because world class means, hey, I've achieved the gold medal. Right. Because if you achieve the gold medal, that means that okay, I've achieved it, I've at my end, and then you stop growing. I think
that's just a label, though. That's somebody
exactly.
Labels
it's the wording. Like, it's the wording of
right.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is you need to be impeccable with your words, because that words can suggest different things to different people. From the surface, it suggests to me that hey, I don't really want to be world class. I don't want to be world class at anything. I just don't have the desire to be world class at anything. The question that I ask myself is, why do you want to be world class?
That's the point, right? And we're looking at this completely different than the principle of the dip. I think matters, but like when he talks about being a superstar or winners quit fast and quit often and guilt free, like the words winners,
that goes against principle and
I don't care.
Compass, right?
A
winners,
superstar
right?
or a winner.
I don't want to be superstars.
As a matter of fact, I don't give a shit at all.
At the end of the day, why you want to be winners? So you get to do what you want to do. Exactly. Why you want to be superstar? So you can do whatever you want to do. So the thing is, I'm going straight to what I want to do is, okay, I want to do what I want to do. I have the freedom, desire to do that, right? No one is telling me, hey, I have to be this person. I have to be the gold medalist. I have to be world class. Actually, that's put me in a box.
It's outcome driven. The words are outcome based, and like a lot of this self-help, genre stuff is all about outcomes. Like a lot of times, I don't think Seth Godin's about that. I think this is a be impeccable with your words kind of scenario. When you read the book, he's not in there going, you want to be a superstar, like you got to push past the dip. Like that's not the message.
I hear this thing over and over again. These are all the
multiplier. They just want to do what they want to do.
Exactly. And that's the key. You just want to do what you want to do. You want to be this winner. You want to eat the frog because you want to get to the point where you can say, I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And so for me, it's like, I think the path to doing that isn't through eating the frog, because I've tried that and
it's gross.
To me, it's miserable, and I didn't like that path at all, right? I'd rather go and do something that I really like. Because the thing is, when you do something you really like, you already get the reward of doing it. You enjoy the journey. You enjoy the climb already. And because you enjoy it so much, no one can climb more than you. Therefore, you are so good that people can't ignore you. If you have climbed many mountains because you love to climb, and when somebody needs some rescue or some kind of guide to the mountain, they're going to go to the best. and that's you.
It's
Because you are already, you are the best. You are world class because you like to do it. And when you don't want to be world class, you will become world class.
Agreed.
Right? Because the thing is, as human nature, we have to do the things that is in our genes. It is what we are made of, and we have to express it in order for us to even be in this world. Otherwise, you have nothing to live for. You have nothing to live for, because we have to do whatever our genes wants us to do. And when we do that, we feel this jubilee of emotions, and that emotion what drives us. That emotion that gives us the energy, because we can't do nothing. You can't say, I'm retired, I won't do anything. It's like, no, you retire because you don't want to do the shit you want to do. It's called work, and then you want to do the thing that you want to do. Say, hey, I go play. I don't go work anymore. I go play, right? Like, when to go to work and to play is exactly the same mechanic. You exert energy to perform an action.
Right.
That's all you do. It's like, okay, you say, well, when I retire, I'm gonna go play golf all the time. Well, fuck, that's good.
It's a lot of work,
right?
Or
I want to retire. I'm gonna go fishing all the time. People hate fishing. There's some people who hate fishing. There's people who love fishing, right?
I fucking hate golf. Like, I mean, it's torture.
I wouldn't like golf either because it would bore me to death. Right?
It's frustrating. It's hard, and you have to play it all the time, and it takes so long. Like, I mean, it takes so long. Like, I don't have 4 hours to go, 5 hours sometimes to go sit on a fucking golf cart, driving around.
It's like you hit it, boom, and then you gotta walk over. Like, you spend the most fucking day walking the hole.
I mean, I guess if you like nature, but like, I mean, if I like nature,
there's nothing there to be nature. It's all grass.
And you're driving in a cart, Like,
there's no nature there. I don't get the nature aspect of this.
Well, I mean, just being outside. There is something.
Most of these places like scorching hot.
Well, in Houston, yeah, not where I'm from. Like, I mean, you can have a nice.
But Houston, the Houston Shell Open is in Houston. I mean, golf in Houston is pretty big. So it's hard, dude. It's hard.
That sounds brutal.
It's brutal. I don't have the appeal for it. Like, I'm not dinging anyone for it. And if you like it,
that's the point. It's like what we're talking about.
I'd rather live in the humid environment and in a hot environment than in a cold environment, because that's my preference. Because my gene wants it. Has nothing to do with like, hey, I decide this, I decide that. No, I didn't decide shit. It's just that's my gene, and my gene say, well, I am conditioned to, be comfortable in this environment. And some people say, well, I love go fishing, I love go golfing, I love play basketball, I love play football. You ask me, like, for me, it's I love football. I mean, you ask me why, I don't know. Why do I like my basketball or golf or baseball? Like, for me, baseball may be good too, but I just don't enjoy the other sports, right? I mean, other people, it could be fun for other people.
Baseball, I mean, geek out.
And that's the point. That's the point. Is that it's a lot of people like, for example, a lot of people like poker, or a lot of people like blackjack, or a lot of people play whatever. But that's my point. Is everybody has a unique gene expression.
Figure it out.
It is going to have a love for certain things. That's what you should do. And when you do that, it isn't work, because you exerting the same kind of energy to perform an action. Right. That's is play when it is aligning with who you are. It is work when it is not aligning. That's my point. If you align yourself with something, you don't really care to be world class, because you just enjoy the thing so much. It's like when I eat the cake, right? It's not that, hey, I want to be the person who eat the most cake. You say, well, I get to eat the cake. Do you say, well, I'm going to eat a cake because I want to be the person to eat the most cake? You don't think about it. Say, oh, I like cake. That's right. All you can focus on, because that's what thrills you. So you're asking me, what do you want to be world class in? It's like asking me, okay, do you desire to be the most cake eater, like the world record in cake eating person? No, to me, it doesn't.
But if you got you could, I'm sure,
But the thing is, that isn't the incentive. Isn't high enough for me to even register in my head. The only thing I see is cake. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm completely preoccupied with having cake. Right. So this is the same thing with the podcast. Is I never think about how many episode we've done so far, how many we have to go. I never think about it. I don't care because I'm here to say, Kate, I get to talk shit about things.
Exactly. It's not even a decision. It's why we push past the dip and we're continuing to go.
When something is jiving, is you're gonna have you have a hard time stopping yourself because every single time we talk, we always run over
I know. I'm about to tell you. I'm about to cut you off right now because it is 4 hours of tennis tonight.
It's 11 p.m.
It's 11 p.m.
At the end of the fucking day, and we're doing this, and we go over. You see that's a sign that you enjoy the cake, right?
Exactly.
And the cake is all that preoccupies you. As far as how many you do, I don't give a shit. I don't really care.
Exactly. I'm with you 100%. So anyway, I think that's a good place to stop for the night. The question for everybody is what do you want to be world class at in this life? And then are you on the path or do you find yourself in the cul-de-sac? So something to think about. And I highly recommend this book. I liked it a lot. It's a really quick, fast read, but at the same time, I thought it was pretty impactful. So check this one out and we'll follow up with part 2 tomorrow night.
I can't wait for the conclusion, what this has done to you and in your path on your quest for getting out of the cul-de-sac.
Exactly. This is an impactful book. So I look forward to sharing tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.